This year we are live and in person. Woo! So hello to all the friendly faces here and welcome. Also to those who are streaming from home and at work. My name is Hoang. I am president of the Asian Heritage Alliance, also known as AHA. AHA is one of many employee resource groups which exist to encourage diversity and inclusion. Our purpose is to engage and support employees, bring awareness to important topics, and voice our perspectives and ideas. We thank the County Board for allowing us this important space to celebrate the achievements and contributions of Asian American employees, residents, and businesses. Our sincere appreciation to County Manager Mark Schwartz and his office for uplifting ERGs through budget support, as well as participation and engagement. Thank you to the many department heads and constitutional offices that allow their employees the flexibility to join and participate in ERGs. And of course, big thanks to Human Resources Department for guidance, support, oversight towards diversity and inclusion efforts. Now on with the show. The theme for 2022 is Advancing Leaders Through Collaboration. As referenced by the Federal Asian Pacific American Council, they cite that collaboration at its core requires leadership. It improves team dynamics, enhances problem solving and innovation, improves communication, and ultimately overall success. Asian Heritage Alliance is proud to present our program for you today. We have highlighted presenters who are excelling at their craft, and while doing so, exemplify leadership through collaboration.
Nice that we as a community and as a government, we try to come together in the face of nearly unexplainable and despicable acts like that. I will also just say, last Tuesday, Norman Mineta passed away. And if you think of his life, it's a more hopeful note. He was in an internment camp at the start of his life, Japanese American, who then became longtime mayor of San Jose, California, longtime congressman, helped our country acknowledge the misdeeds that we had done in World War II with respect to Japanese Americans, and became Secretary of Transportation. So, as is often true, we face continued challenges with being the country and the place that we should be, but I'd argue we've made some progress. So with that, I'll read the proclamation. Whereas continued immigration and population growth have resulted in almost 19,895 Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders living in Arlington, constituting more than 9.6% of Arlington's population. And whereas astoundingly diverse within its own ranks, Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders contribute to the great diversity of this nation of nations that is America, and to the diverse and inclusive community of Arlington, preserving the rich legacy of their native cultures while embracing the best values and traditions of the United States of America. And whereas through their multifaceted skills, traditions of hard work, and creative entrepreneurship, this vital segment of our community has contributed to the prosperity and economic well-being of Arlington County. And whereas Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders have brought with them solid family values and marvelous traditions which strengthen the very fabric of our society. And whereas through their unquenchable respect for education, indefatigable industry, and persistent drive for excellence, Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders have demonstrated outstanding individual and group achievement in academia, government, and business. Now, therefore, me, on behalf of Katie Crystal, Chair of the County Board of Arlington, Virginia, do hereby proclaim May 2022 as Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month in Arlington County, and call upon the residents of the county to observe this occasion by participating in activities that highlight the contributions of Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders to our society in general and to Arlington County in particular, and to further encourage and urge all county employees of Asian, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander descent to participate actively in the celebration of their Heritage Month in the spirit of sharing their cultural diversity and richness. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Matt. Hello, everyone. My name is Han. I'm with DES, and I'm also one of the events coordinator at AHA. I have the honor of introducing our next speaker, who is the executive sponsor of AHA and also an assistant county manager, Ms. Gurjit Chima.
Hey everyone, welcome. Louder, come on. Thank you, Han, for that introduction. Thank you, Matt, Mark, Dave, I know I'm missing others, for joining us and celebrating, commemorating Asian and Hispanic, Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. It's really great to see you all here, great to see everyone in person. Thank you also to Luan and AHA for putting on this event. It takes a lot of work and time, and also just in general for supporting AHA year-round and for the other ERGs. We really do appreciate it. So last year at the same event, you all heard me talk a little bit about Asian American contributions to American society, the continuing challenges Asian Americans face, such as backlash and hate crimes, as well as a history of Asian Americans in the United States. So as you all know, the first Asian Americans were Filipino and arrived here in 1765, settling in Louisiana. So it's interesting then that despite that long history, Asian Americans still continue to feel perceived as foreign, other, or not sufficiently American. And it's precisely that kind of thinking that leads to violence and backlash. Last year's FBI report on hate crimes revealed that anti-Asian sentiment saw a steeper increase than against any other similar sentiment of any demographic. Sadly, though, since, as we know, the workplace is a microcosm of society at large, Asian Americans not only feel other than in their personal lives, but also at work. And we saw this in the barrier analysis. So the county procured, as you all know, a third-party vendor to conduct a study on barriers to equal employment opportunity within the workforce. That project took about a year and involves extensive analysis of data, focus groups, and surveys of employees from all different backgrounds at various management levels. It resulted in a report that was published last February and still available online on our webpage. Notably, as far as what we're talking about today, Asian employees in the workforce revealed that they felt perceived as not American. They also shared concerns about microaggressions in the workplace, as well as concerns about generalizations about all Asians. Unfortunately, this is not a phenomenon unique to the county or even the US. Interestingly enough, just last week, NBC News ran an article wherein a survey was conducted by management consulting company Bain & Co. They surveyed 10,000 employees across North America, the US, and Australia to show that Asian employees felt the least included of any demographic in the workplace. Lowest scoring were Asian men. So why am I sharing all this, and why is it important, and what does it mean? Well, first, I think we all know, and study after study has shown that diversity and inclusion have a direct correlation to innovation in a workplace and, frankly, bottom line profitability. As far as what this means, I think for us what it means is when we're talking about equal employment opportunity and trying to ensure a workplace that affords everyone equal employment opportunity, we need to focus not just on diversity, but also inclusion. So what that looks like is we need to look at our culture. Are there areas where we can improve? And like any other place, there are always areas where we can improve. As far as our employees, I think, as far as Asian employees, I think what we need to do is speak up and not inadvertently further the model minority myth. As far as all employees, I think we need to invite one another to get to know each other and be open to that. And I think equally important, though, is not just learning about our differences and valuing them, but quite frankly, acknowledging and valuing our similarities, because I remain a firm believer that we have way more in common than not. And chief among those commonalities is that we are all American. So with that, I wish you a very happy and meaningful Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and I'm going to turn it back to Lon. Thank you.
Thank you, Gurjit. AHA is very fortunate to have your guidance and mentorship. We appreciate it. We agree that improving culture is the key to breaking down the barriers, especially for minorities, to gain leadership and promotional opportunities. So we look forward to the work ahead. Our keynote speaker has done just that. She has broken down barriers and has replaced them with stepstones to climb to her ladder of success. Before we hear from Ms. Sonia Johnston, I would like to introduce her niece, Ms. Monique To, who will set the stage of Sonia's journey, from humble beginnings to her great achievements, leading to her upcoming induction into the Arlington Business Hall of Fame. First, about Monique To. She was born in Can Tho, Vietnam, during the Vietnam War, and came to the U.S. in 1980 with her family. She grew up and went to school in Fairfax County, received her undergraduate degree at George Mason University and master's degree at Johns Hopkins University. She's been working in the field of cybersecurity for over 20 years and is currently in cybersecurity engineer at the MITRE company. The talent is full in this family tree. Please welcome Ms. Monique To.
Hello, everyone. First off, I would like to say thank you, and it's an honor to be asked to speak here at the Asian American Pacific Islander Appreciation Month, hosted by AHA. My name is Monique To, as Lon has introduced. I'm not here to speak about me. I'm here to speak about my aunt, Sonia Johnston, to introduce her and to share her story, her legacy, on how she became a true leader in the banking industry, particularly in Arlington County. Throughout Sonia's life, she has gained countless qualities of a genuine leader, as well as a loving person who cares deeply for her family, friends, and communities. As I tell Sonia's story, I will try to highlight Sonia's leadership qualities, how she continues leveraging and collaborating with everyone around her to get where she is today, a strong, talented, and professional businesswoman. So let the story begin. Sonia was born in Can Tho, Vietnam, and she was given the name Nha Tuy To. It's a Vietnamese accent. She grew up here. She grew up with 5 brothers, 1 older brother and 4 younger than her. And being the only girl in the family and the second oldest to a family of 6 kids, she quickly learned that she had to stand up and speak for herself. And as her family struggles to survive during the Vietnam War, Sonia learned quickly that she had to help her father to be the secondary provider for the family. She became very independent with the support of her family and the people that she knew. She was driven to do better in school and learn the English language. She was not a traditional Vietnamese girl that you would normally see. She's not shy. She would not stay home and help with household chores. She wouldn't be staying home to take care of her siblings. She was out there learning more about the Western culture. She was more intrigued about the people's freedom and independence, especially the women's rights within the Western culture. She applied what she learned about the Western culture and adapted it. She made great efforts to take control of her life by working hard to support her family. At the age of 16, she quickly became an independent, outspoken, intelligent young woman. With those qualities, she was mainly responsible for nurturing and guiding her 5 brothers. Sonia's strong, aggressive, and friendly personality gave her opportunities to meet professionals and interact with the Americans who served her country during the Vietnam War. She collaborated with American soldiers and military personnel, who gave her opportunities to work for the U.S. government at the time during the war. And that was her very first real job. Sonia's main priority has always been her family. She wanted to support them financially and to be a great mentor to her brothers. While 2 of her brothers were drafted by the Vietnamese military, she courageously stepped up and helped her father manage the family dry cleaning business. Sonia positioned herself to quickly become the anchor of her family. Now I want to get into a little bit about her career. At the age of 18, Sonia started her career during the Vietnam War working for the U.S. government. She was hired as a clerk personnel within the U.S. Exchange in Vietnam, and then later was promoted to be an interpreter of the U.S. Embassy located in Vietnam. It was her outgoing, extroverted personality and her willingness to go outside of her comfort zone that led her to learn new challenges in life. And those traits presented her with opportunities which impacted her life and changed her forever. And during those significant times in her career, she built lifetime friendships, remarkable relationships with people, and made choices that impact her lifetime. Sonia ended up leaving Vietnam on one of the last helicopters that in the U.S. military that got evacuated at the end of the war in 1975. At the time, she was a refugee and was taken to Wake Island refugee camp. It was one of the hardest decisions that Sonia had to make, leaving her family and country for something that is unknown. Sonia thought that it was also a brave and wise decision, where she hoped to have a better life and more opportunities to help her family. She wanted to have freedom to be who she desired to be and to fulfill her dream of being part of this Western culture that she's learned about. While she was at the refugee camp for 3 months, she reached out to all of her American friends that she met during the war, especially her former boss at the U.S. Embassy. And they helped her and was able to sponsor her to the U.S. She entered the U.S. as an immigrant into California, where she was a young adult living in a very different country. She had no money and spoke very little English. And this is where Sonia's personality and strong will helped her. She started to take English classes in the evening and worked as a mail clerk during the day. She also continued to reach out to all of the people that she met while working during the war. And a few of the people actually helped her got her jobs. She maintained a close relationship with her former boss and his family, who was living in Northern Virginia at the time. And eventually, after 1 year in California, she decided to move to Northern Virginia to seek a new life and to be closer to her sponsor and his family. For the first 5 years in Northern Virginia, to survive, Sonia was working 3 jobs. She knew that she liked the financial aspect of business. With the help of her sponsor, she got a job as a bank teller during the day and a cashier during the weekends. She also enjoyed interacting with people, so she got herself a job as a waitress at night. And at this point in Sonia's career, this was the very beginning of her banking career as a bank teller in the community bank, in a local community bank. In 1979, she received letters from her father telling her that the family has left Vietnam. At this time, she was involved in the Baptist World Alliance group. So she elicited the help of her sponsor, the Baptist World Alliance group, the Red Cross, and the local McLean Baptist Church to sponsor her family of 21 members. And 1 year later, she reunited with her family. In 1980, Sonia took a position as assistant treasurer, controller to the Baptist World Alliance group. And this is where she traveled internationally to help refugees around the world. In 1988, she helped started a new bank and then became the vice president and branch manager of Virginia Commerce Bank. In 1999, she became the executive vice president, business development for James Monroe Bank, which was bought out by PNC Bank. And in 2008, she became the founder and regional president of John Marshall Bank. During her years with the 3 banking groups, she was fortunate to have strong people supporting her and working with her. She was genuine and positive, and her attitude were radiant. Her group of loyal friends and workers eventually grew. For over 40 years, she worked hard and climbed that corporate ladder. to gain her successful banking career. She built professional relationships with her managers by being trustworthy and reliable. Gradually, she was given management roles and through hard working. She was driven to succeed and knew that how to succeed her goal while serving her communities. As she grew to become a strong leader in the banking industry, she remained objective. She wanted to build a good relationship with her customers and maintain a clear and open line of communication with everyone. This was her secret to providing exceptional service and support to all of her customers. She was known to be a compassionate banker, a businesswoman, and assisted in any way that she could by listening to their ideas and helping with the customers' to meet their business needs. As she moved in her career, she was also involved in many community organizations. She was a board member to the Arlington Chamber of Commerce, Arlington Community Foundation, and the Arlington Historical Society. She was also a member of the Arlington Professional Businesswomen and Leadership of Arlington. The Arlington Chamber of Commerce has voted for Sonia as the 2022 Arlington Business Hall of Fame, which she will be inducted at the end of this month. This is a huge accomplishment for a refugee from Vietnam. She has been considered as the Arlington business icon in the Arlington business community. As for Sonia's family, I'll just quickly go through this here. Sonia met Warren Johnston when he was 19 years old. Warren was stationed as a soldier in the Vietnam War. She continued to communicate with him while she was at Wake Island refugee camp. They later got married in 1992 and lived a happy life together for 30 years. She still remained close friends with all of his family members. Sonia's life is built on hard work and doing what she liked. As you can see, that her life and her career are very much in the same. Her circle of friends has been mainly the people that she met during the business interaction. These are the people that worked alongside her and supported her throughout her career as a banker. This was the key to Sonia's success, her close groups of business associates, her family, and her friends. Her goal is to make sure that she pays it forward so that her family, friends, and communities provide help and support wherever she can. What I want to leave you with today is the successes and the qualities of Sonia's life and career, the characteristics that she expressed in her career life. This includes the people around her and her business associates and communities. Always be persuasive. Eventually, you will get what you want. Always be loyal because you want others to be loyal to you. Be true to yourself. The decisions that you make that changes you in ways that you will never know. Remember your family values. Your family is always the foundation and the backbone to who you are. Build your credibility and maintain it, both in business and in life. Like maintaining your financial credit score, you want to maintain your credibility in how people see you and what you do to the people that are around you. Once you lose that credibility, it will be very hard to build it back. Always try to improve yourself. You're never too old to learn and challenge yourself. And remember that there are always people less fortunate than you. Get involved in your communities and try to pay it forward. Sonia has always been an inspiration to me my whole life. And I hope that you learned today all the qualities and characteristics that I've pointed out will inspire you to become a great leader yourself. At this point, I would like to invite my aunt, Sonia Johnston, to join me and say a few words.
Good afternoon, everybody. Now you see who the leader. This is the next leader of the Toll family, not me. That's her. Thank you. Thank you, dear, for speaking on my behalf. It's meant a lot to me. See the elders of the family 50 of mine, and she's the daughter I never have. I would like to thank Long and her team for inviting us to be here today. You had given us an opportunity to be here. It's meant a lot to my niece and I. Great honor to be with all of you. My success in life is the combination of motivation and determination. I'm truly blessed of being in this country, especially in Arlington. I met so many wonderful friends and great mentors in my life. They guide me to the way to my victory. For almost 40 years, and I work in Arlington community, and which I truly love it. My client had been my ultimate priority. Without their moral support, I won't be to reach my goal and accomplishment in banking. I truly enjoy their friendship, and I treasure very much, in which I do consider everyone here in Arlington is my second family. They got me hope and great opportunity to be the one and the best banker that I can be. The greatest motivators is you and yourself. No one can stop you from what you want to be. The sky is unlimited. And when I was a kid, every day I say, you can do, I can do better. But I cry after that. Can I? Not sure. But I determined, you can do, I can do better. Again, it is great honor to be here. It's meant a lot to me. And I would like to thank very much for your time and opportunity, and have a wonderful, everybody, a wonderful day. Thank you.
Hello, all. I'm Katie Pegararo from Technology Services, and I'm also the treasurer of the AHA ERG. Next, we have a special guest. It's our first comedian ever to perform at an ERG event, as far as I know. Ms. Vijai Nathan. Vijai is an Indian American comedian and storyteller, making people laugh across the globe from her DMV roots. Vijay's stories have been featured on NPR's Snap Judgment and Invisibilia Live, and she's a contributing writer for the Washington Post magazine's Date Lab. Please give a warm Arlington County welcome to Vijai Nathan. Thank you.
Okay, hey. Okay, give another round of applause for Sonia. I'm so lazy when I listen to her whole life. I feel like just making coffee this morning was a big achievement, and now I need Sonia to be like my life coach, I think. So thank you, Sonia. Wonderful, wonderful to hear from you. Okay, so let me hear a round of applause if you had parents, or let me start with grandparents that were born in another country. Okay, all right. How about parents who were born in another country? All right, okay. So my parents, they were born in India, and let me tell you, it is really difficult to raise two Indian parents in America. It's tough. My father, like a lot of immigrant parents, my father thought education was very, very important. My dad has a BSc, an MBA, an LLM, and he's a CPA. I've got HBO, ADD, and a DUI, so we'll see about somebody can fix that DUI for me. That'd be great. But I knew that I was different. I'm the youngest of 3 girls, and I always knew I was different from my older sisters. You know, my dad would love to brag about his kids. He was like, this is my daughter Shanti, she's a doctor. This is my daughter Indu, she's a lawyer. This is my daughter Vijay, she's adopted. But like, I knew I was different. Like, when I was about 10, when I told my dad my dream of becoming an actor, and he's like, act? You want to act? I will tell you how to act. You act like Albert Einstein and do your math homework. So he couldn't see my future as a star. No, he couldn't see that. But where are my moms? Applaud if you're a mom. Some moms are here. Okay, yes. My mom, growing up, I would always ask her to tell me bedtime stories. And she would tell me the Indian bedtime stories. She would say, once upon a time, there was a little girl who did everything her parents told her to do, the end. But I'm like, Mommy, tell me the American stories. And she's like, look, Vijay, Little Mermaid, mother dead. Sleeping Beauty, mother dead. Okay? Cinderella, mother dead. Do you see a pattern here? Do you want to kill your mother? I'm watching you. She was tough. So, when I first started doing stand-up, I was really, really hesitant to tell my parents because it's not something that Indians really do. But I told my mom first because she's the softer one, the nicer one in the family. And she said, don't worry, I'll handle Daddy, no problem. 2 minutes later, my father is furious. He says, Vijay, how can you do this to your family? I have struggled in this country for 25 years and you're going to disgrace me this way? I said, Dad, I just want to make people laugh, be a comedian. He said, oh, your mom told me you wanted to be a Canadian. So, they understand what I do now. They do. So I'm going to tell you guys a story. I started out with a little stand-up, and the story will be funny. I will tell you that. But this is a story from one of my shows. I do a lot of solo performance shows. And it touches a little bit about some of the things that were said in the speeches earlier tonight, but I'm coming at it from a different perspective. So, like I said, my parents came to this country in 1970. And there were certain American traditions that my parents didn't believe in, like freedom. That was number one. There was no freedom for me or my sisters. No, my father was the dictator, his word law, his opinion the absolute truth, so we had to follow everything that he said. And one of the biggest rules was we were never allowed to cut our hair. My mom was very clear. She said, Vijay, Indian men only want 3 things from wife, okay? First, long, properly braided hair. 2, good curry. 3, I'll tell you after you get married. And my father simply said, if you cut your hair, I'll kill you. Because having long, beautiful hair was a sign that you were a good Indian girl. But it was difficult because I was in America, and I would go to school, and I would see all the other kids with these little pixie cuts, these little bangs, and feathered hair, and I just wanted to be more like them and less like me. And I would beg my parents to cut my hair, but they would never, never listen to me. And it would always frustrate me. But as I got older, the one thing that always made me feel better was my birthday. And for my 12th birthday, because the reason I would feel better was because I would have to, oh, wait a second. Let me go back for a second. So my parents always thought that my hair was stunning and was beautiful and was very, very special. And so I had to accept that. But it became really difficult when we moved from Gaithersburg, Maryland to Potomac, Maryland, and I was the new kid at my school. And that was when I met Jill Green, the richest and meanest girl in 3rd grade. Now, Jill's first day of school outfit was a Ralph Lauren polo with the collar popped up. She had on Calvin Klein jeans, and she was wearing matching pink Keds. And her hair was feathered. It was like all these beautiful layers. Like she had these giant wings, like Farrah Fawcett, Charlie's Angels wings for her hair. And she was wearing lip gloss, and she just looked like she had just stepped off the cover of 17 magazine. This was 3rd grade. My first day of school outfit was a yellow baby doll dress with a Winnie the Pooh on the lapel that I had inherited from my older sister, who was 10 years older than me. And that first day of school, after I was walking home, Jill and her crew rolled up on me, and she's like, "So, Vijai, what are you?" "Oh, I'm Indian." "Wow, is that like an Apache? Can you do a rain dance?" Well, actually, I'm not that kind of Indian, and honestly, I'm kind of a bad dancer. "Whatever, Pocahontas. Gosh, your hair is so long, I bet it falls in the toilet when you poop." And from that day forward, my new nickname at my new elementary school was Pocahontas Poophead, and I wanted to cut my hair more than ever. I begged my parents. 3rd grade, they wouldn't listen. 4th grade, they wouldn't listen. 5th grade, so they never listened. And my parents would just say, anytime I would complain, they would just say, "Vijay, your hair is too beautiful. They're just Americans. They don't know." Now, that didn't cheer me up, but my birthday always cheered me up because I was always allowed to get new clothes. I didn't have to wear hand-me-downs from my sisters. And for my 12th birthday, I got this glittery purple dress with the word pizzas on it because we were going to Chuck E. Cheese, and yes, I'd be eating some pizzas. When I came home and I modeled it for my sister, she said, "You idiot, it says pizzazz." The other reason I loved my birthday was because it was the one day that my mom wouldn't force my hair into those 2 long, nerdy Pocahontas braids, and I was allowed to wear my hair out. It was long, it was flowing, it was long well past my butt, and I was a preteen Indian goddess. I knew that I looked hot. Thank you. I had invited all the popular girls from my class, except for Jill. I knew they weren't my friends, but they would add a certain cachet to the event. So I sauntered in to Chuck E. Cheese, and I played a little skeet ball, and played a little Miss Pac-Man, and I shot some skeet ball. And then I zoned in on this kiddie ride. It was a Ferris wheel for one. It was a seat that would just rotate up and down. That's all it did. But somehow I couldn't resist the pull of this wheel, so I put my token in and I squeezed my pizza-loving buns into that seat. And as the ride would go up, I could survey all of Chuck E. Cheese. And when it would come down, my clogs would hit the floor. And then it would go up again, and I could hear all the kids laughing and the buzz of arcade games. And I could smell the cheese pizza. And it was just so peaceful. And then I felt a tug on my hair. And I looked down, and I realized that my hair was getting sucked into the center of this wheel. I tried to pull myself out, but I was just getting closer and closer until finally I just said, hey, can someone help? And this kid who had been playing Space Invaders came over, and he pulled the plug. And now I was truly trapped like a rat in this ride. And at this point, my entire birthday party had surrounded me. Well, quite frankly, every other birthday party at Chuck E. Cheese had surrounded me, and the room was completely silent, except for my mother. And my father, he is an engineer, a man of science, so he comes through and he circles me a few times, inspects all the gears and the mechanisms, and finally says, "Look, guys, I think if we turn her head the other way around, her head will just pop right out." But I couldn't take the humiliation anymore, and I said, "Daddy, please just get me out." So he took a pair of scissors and he cut me free. Now half of my hair is cut in rough chunks around my shoulders, and the other half is still long, still well past my bottom. And I realized that I should always have listened to my mom. I never should have worn my hair out. I never should have tried to be something that I wasn't. I never should have tried to be American. The next day, we went to a place that no one in my family had ever been to before, the hair cuttery. My fate was left in the hands of our stylist, Jesus. And while he surveyed the damage done to my hair, my mom comes up and she says, "Excuse me, Jesus, can you try to preserve the length of her hair?" And believe it or not, Jesus performed a miracle. And in the front, he gave me bangs, and then he gave me these layers, these feathers. And in the back, he left a long, velvety highway of hair. And through Jesus, I was born again. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for having me. This has been such a pleasure. There's more entertainment, and there's food. So thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much. This was so much fun, and being an Indian, I can totally relate to this. My name is Tina Modi. I work for Arlington Economic Development Office, and I'm the co-vice chair for AHA. Today, I'm here to announce the last performance, which is going to be a showstopper performance by none other than our AED folks, Prakriti Deuja and Telly Tucker. Nepalese American AED employee Prakriti Deuja is more than just a BizLaunch administrative specialist, an artist who used her passionate, powerful, and soulful voice to tell the many feelings of her own. The future holds much more promise for Prakriti, and her journey is all just began. Telly is the director of Arlington Economic Development for Arlington, Virginia, where he currently leads a strong economic development team with more than 50 employees. Mr. Tucker has approached economic development with an insightful and creative mindset throughout the career. Being an AED employee myself, we are very pleased with the leadership of Telly. Please welcome Prakriti and Telly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is fine. I completely forgot to mention that, or the song that we're literally playing. It's called Universe by Thuy. She is a Vietnamese R&B independent singer-songwriter from the Bay Area. So if you're looking for a new Asian American artist to support, Thuy is awesome, and I'm obsessed with her and listen to her every day of my life. So.
You give me fever, you give me chills. I need a
running. Run after me, don't let me go. Just imagine all the little things we could do. Just imagine if I put my trust on you. My universe, my everything, my sunset. You still give me butterflies. Oh, everything I wanted. When you see me running, run after me. And shout out Telly.
Wow, let's give it up for Prakriti and Telly. Woo! Amazing talent. Also, thank you to all the presenters, Sonia, Johnston, and our comedian, storyteller, Vijai, Nathan. Thank you all so much. Wonderful program for today. So we're winding down, but I must give out a shout out to all of the amazing folks who have worked behind the scenes. The County Manager's Office Communications Cable Program Producer and the AED Cultural Affairs Sound Technician. Without them, we would not be able to hold this outside and have everyone's comfort and enjoyment. Thank you very much. Also give it up to the Department of Recreation Services and DES staff, trade staff for setting up the chairs, the tents, the tables, and also breaking them down later. We appreciate you so much. Kudos to the CMO Communications Specialist for the wonderful special edition highlighting AAPI month. And last but not least, our AHA family and members. Without you, we would not have today or any of the programs we have throughout the year. Thank you so much. I'm so very proud. So as we wind down, there are several programs that we want to remind employees of the importance of health and well-being. So this month, to celebrate the AAPI theme, we have collaborated with Arlington County's Health Smart to bring holistic healing from Eastern medicine perspectives. Yesterday there was Tai Chi, and next week there are virtual events on back pain solutions, acupuncture, how to incorporate healthy Asian cuisine in your lifestyle, and finally Ayurveda, an Indian holistic approach to physical and mental health. I also want to encourage our residents and businesses who are watching to engage in Arlington. There are many things that we want to hear your voice. AHA ERG can be a resource to help bridge that communication, and we are here to support employees and residents and businesses. So with that, I thank you for joining us today. Please help yourself to some Asian cuisine that have been prepared by AHA members. And thank you all so very much. See you next year.